So my buddy Two Sticks just called me and he was like, "What are you doing this weekend?" And I was like, "I don't know." So I asked my fiance. She said, "We're not doing anything." So looks like I'm going to pack up real quick and get ready for an overnight, and maybe we'll be able to do a little fishing trip and camp. Is that something you guys might want to watch? An ultralight fishing trip? Let's go.
So awesome.
So guys, what I'm going to do is I don't have anything planned for this right now. I mean, it's like last minute today. I didn't know that this was going to happen, but I still want to go. It's like 3 hours total driving to get there. He gets off work at 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe it'll be like tonight we get there and we fish all day tomorrow. I'm cool with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select all my kit and just kind of do it as I go, and then show you like what I'm selecting and why. And I'm gonna look up the weather in the area and everything, and like just pick my kit purpose built for this weekend, and that will include my fishing tackle too. So that's something that I really haven't had to factor into an ultralight kit before.
So the weather ended up being pretty chilly at night. You see there's low of 47. I'd say that's accurate, maybe down into the 45 range because of elevation.
Alright, so I've got this big pile of gear here. That's generally what I think I need. I'm going to go for an ultralight hammock setup. I'm going to keep it as light as I can. I don't have to really worry about the food bag so much. That's going to be easy stuff.
So the first thing that popped into my head here as I started packing was puffy jacket, puffy jacket, puffy jacket. Getting down into the upper 40s, I knew that I was going to want a puffy hanging around camp, and I knew that I was going to at least want the hood of that puffy to put around my head and keep myself warm while I'm fishing, and maybe I'm in a shady spot and the wind's blowing a little bit during the day. I was super happy that I brought that puffy, and I was super happy that I brought a little beanie cap to wear. Those two items and my water filter were probably the most important things that I brought out there, and contributed a lot to my comfort.
I think I've gotten everything together here. I've tried to lay it out for you. There might be one change I will make. I might go to my heavier backpack because it'll be easier to carry my fishing gear, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay guys, so I'm kind of in a rush. This is last minute trip. Here's the one thing I'm going back and forth on. I think I'll probably wear this as like, it's a little chilly outside right now and we're not at elevation, we're just in Ringgold. So I'm thinking I'm gonna wear this like all the time over my t-shirt as like, this is worn clothing. And the reason I say that is because it's pretty chilly outside, you know? Once we get up in the mountains, it's gonna be chillier. Speaking of orange, it's hunting season. We need to have something orange like that. That's another reason I wanna bring it. That wearing it all the time is going to make sure that I don't get shot. It's an Atom SL, so it's like a lightweight, like active layer. So I'm thinking that's like just a base, you know, setup. That, okay, my Arc'teryx shirt, okay, I'm gonna put that on, and I'll wear those constantly. Now I'm thinking I might need a hat for sleeping. My head could get cold sleeping, so I'm gonna include that with my sleep setup. I'll get to that in a second. Some compressive, kind of a little bit longer boxer brief underwear so that I can hike if I need to. And I don't need long compression pants right now or anything like that because I'm going to be wearing pants. I usually don't wear pants unless it's a little bit colder. It's getting colder now, especially up in that region that we're going to. We're going to be near the Smokies. So the low is going to be 48, high is going to be 64 or something like that. Got my wallet here, okay. Keys. This is just my EDC. I've got a little multi-tool in there that I'll be using for fishing. It's a little Leatherman Micra that stays in there always. I've got a little click flashlight I can show you later. It's like my emergency flashlight. You press the button, it's on. And this is just my EDC setup right there. Okay, my knife. So normally I would carry something smaller like this. My little Spyderco Dragonfly 2. But I know I'm going to be out. I know I'm going to be fishing. I know we're probably going to be starting a fire. I know that we're going to be doing bushcrafty things because, you know, two guys get out together, my buddy and I, and we're going to want to do bushcrafty stuff. So I'm bringing my Mora, okay? And I'll get more into this later if you want. And I'm bringing a ferrocerium rod that came with my other Mora. That's just going to ride together. I'm going to tie that on to the bottom here, the drainage holes. Then for the pants, I'm going to do the REI Safari pants. They're the convertible zip-offs. They're pretty nice. You'll see me wearing them in the video. And then number one rule of fire making is cheat. So I'm going to keep that in my pocket, especially as it gets colder. I think it's important to have a way to make fire, just as in terms of like if something goes wrong. I'm going to be wearing my new, this is like one of 2 belts that I own right now. So I'm just going to bring it. My other one is kind of flimsy. This is a D-ring belt, kind of like I would wear when I was an EMS student because I thought it was cool. I found it, I mean, I think it's a super light, it's pretty comfortable. The D-ring looks big, but it's really just like a big belt buckle. And I like that the belt doesn't loosen. I like that I can adjust it wherever I want, you know? So I'm going to wear that. It looks a little tactical, but like it's under my shirt. No one ever knows it's there. All right, now something that I think is pretty cool. We hadn't had this before when we'd hung out. This is 2 little FRS radios that I tested on my channel. They get pretty darn good, like 1.5 miles, something like that, that I tested in like normal, you know, Ringgold for me, normal environment. So obviously if there's more obstructions and things, but just around camp within a mile of each other, like we're not going to get outside of a mile of each other that quickly. These are going to do a great job. We're going to be able to keep in touch with each other. If one of us goes off to use the bathroom or something, just so that if we're away from each other, we can get in contact with each other. If we're fishing in different spots, we can talk to each other. Hey man, come check this out, you know? So that's, one of us is going to carry one of these, and then the other is going to carry one on his person. And then when we separate, we'll turn them on to save battery power because we don't need them on all the time. Okay, so going on to the rest of the clothing. This is my Arc'teryx puffy. I wore it a lot season before this last summer. And in the fall, this last year, I mean, it absolutely saved me. It kept me comfortable. So that's going to be my, like, warm weight layer. This is going to be my, like, you know, fall, like, getting chilly layer that I wear all day and while I'm fishing and stuff. And when we're still, we're not moving around, whatever, I need extra warmth, this is going to be my extra layer. I'm not bringing my insulated pants, my puffy pants, my synthetic pants, which I really like. I don't think it's cold enough for that. I've been down into the upper 40s with just shorts and it's been cool. So long pants, I know I'm going to be fine. I know that's going to be comfortable. More warm clothing stuff. Here's my shoes. If we do any hiking, I'm going to wear the liner socks and these on top. If we're not doing really any hiking or anything, then I'll just wear these or just these. It depends. The liners are light enough that I'm willing to carry them as backup socks. Normally didn't carry backup socks, but with wet weather and blisters and things and like just bad experiences on this last 600-mile section, I decided I was going to pick up a liner. They're dirty right now. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to wear them underneath here if I do hike, just because it's so much more comfortable, at least in these shoes. All right, so we're done with like the worn clothing stuff. Like that's stuff that's, this is going to be carried, but the rest of it's going to be on my belt, or it's going to be stuff that I have on my person. Now getting into the pack, this is my Virga. This is like a pound. This is the pack that I said that I like a little bit better. It's not waterproof, but it's got these thicker, more cushy shoulder straps. And because it's got all these features, you know, it is a pound, but I can stick, you know, wet things back here, they'll dry off. I've got these big deep pockets for my water bottles. And also between the straps and the pockets, I'm going to be able to put my fishing gear in the outside of the pack and have it strapped in and not flopping around. The problem with the Cuban pack is that it's very featureless, which makes it light, but it also means that it's not really good for like a purpose trip like this where we're going to be fishing. I'll show you guys this in a second, and I need to store that gear somewhere, and I can't like lose my fishing, you know, I don't want to have to carry my fishing rod in my hand all day. Okay, so there's the pack, and I'll show you at least in time lapse how I pack that up. Okay, so we're going to put this over here. That's perfectly comfortable. It's not waterproof, but it's going to be fine. And because I'm not bringing a waterproof pack, I'm bringing the poncho. The poncho is my preferred rain gear, honestly. So this is my poncho tarp. I'm sure you've seen it all the time. I'm not bringing it as a component of my shelter. I guess it could be my emergency shelter if for some reason my main shelter fails, but this is, or it could be a shelter for my buddy if he doesn't have a tarp that's adequate or whatever for his hammock setup. I could kind of piece it together with this. But that's my poncho tarp. You guys know exactly what that is if you watched any of my videos. I love that thing. That's going to cover my backpack if it's raining. It can rain all damn day and everything's going to be dry. I love that thing. It's truly waterproof. It's not like these 2-layer breathable whatevers. All right, so speaking of shelter, okay, here is my hard shell shelter, you know, my tarp. It's my housefly hammock gear. It's Cuban tarp. It's really nice. It's one of my nicest pieces of gear for my hammock setup, especially with another guy coming. I don't know if he's gonna have the tarp that he needs for his new hammock and all that stuff, so I'm bringing the biggest tarp I have. Really the only true tarp for hammocking I have. This doesn't really work. So if it rains, he can get under there. We can double hang, and it will be uncomfortable, but we'll both be safe. So I'm bringing the big tarp, and lots of cordage. Like this here is the bundle that I use right there. Everything's stuck to it, but this is the bundle I use with Pressix. I can show you that later. That's my ridge line for my tarp. All this cordage underneath here, all this tangled stuff is my guy lines and everything. Like I didn't have time to do that. So then here are the 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not bringing 6 stakes. I could bring 6 stakes and housefly it up, but like I like to use rocks or sticks that I find for extra tent stakes if I really need them. I can use 4 stakes and not use the doors, kind of use the doors as an extension of the actual tarp and like make a giant A-frame. And that's probably what I'll do if we're both under it. It's probably what I'll do regardless. I really like doing that. It's pretty cool. So moving on to the sleep system, what's going to be underneath the hammock tarp is obviously the hammock. This is one of the few times that I really like stuff sacks, and that's how I store that, so I'm just going to leave it in it for now. I might take it out of there to pack it, but I usually don't like to use the stuff sacks because it's just extra weight. But this is one time I like stuff sacks. This is a double-ended stuff sack, so it makes it super easy. Just you hook up the hammock on one side of the tree and then pull with the hammock still inside. The hammock doesn't touch the ground or anything. I can keep the hammock in here with the bug net and everything. You see the Dutch wear bling. You'll see this. There's also the hammock gear organizer in there, the green. So you'll see this set up probably when I set up camp. So this is the hammock and the hammock tarp, right? And then we need quilts, under quilts, things. I like to use a pillow. I might think about, since I have extra clothing, well, not really. I might need to wear all this to be perfectly warm if it gets a lot colder than I expect. So I'm going to bring a dedicated pillow. It's 2 ounces. I like that a lot. That's the same one I used this last summer on the ground sleeping. And then just to keep my head from sticking to the plasticky pillow and to have a warm head while I'm sleeping. I don't necessarily want to wear my down jacket hood while I'm sleeping. So I'm going to bring a little beanie. I got this for like $3 online. It's one of those like Condor beanies. They're ridiculously cheap. And you know, the build quality is, I mean, it's a hat. All right, so now we're going into the quilts. It's my 40-degree down under quilt. I have a down top quilt. I don't really like using it. The down moves and shifts because it's horizontal baffles and it leaves my chest like exposed to the cold kind of. So, but the baffling on this, like I haven't had the down really shift around. It hangs underneath. It's not like I'm rolling around with it or anything. So this is done really well for me. I like this. The Phoenix 40 hammock gear. And then that is my poncho quilt, my wearable quilt. It will supplement my worn clothing and my carried puffy in order to ensure that I'm as comfortable as possible. It's additional insurance for warmth if it gets colder than expected in camp. If my puffy jacket gets wet somehow, like I fall into a creek or something while I'm fishing with my buddy, I can very easily wear that. And I have dry insulation that's in camp. It's not, you know, soaked with me in the creek. And I can wear it over my jacket, like I said, and be very warm. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the more technical stuff, a lot of little pieces. This is pretty easy actually. This is my food bag, same sil nylon, 8-liter, bare cable. I've been cutting on it, so I might have to add some cable to it in order to make it long enough in the field to hang a bare cable safely. It's my spoon. That's like the only thing you really need. This is a no-cook setup. I'm not cooking unless we cook on a campfire. All right, so here's my Sawyer squeeze. I don't have another bottle to use, so this is going to be my dirty bottle, and then I'm going to use my like water bottle that I use every day as my clean bottle. There's no reason to have a separate water bottle. And then water bottle that I'm going to use is just a like a Life Water or a Smart Water bottle, like this tougher plastic. You've seen me use it in my videos. I'm going to bring my spot. I deactivated it, and it should be deactivated as of December like 31st. So, I mean, I'm going to bring it with me. I want to get something different in the future, but since we're going on a trip and we're going to be in the Smokies and it's going to be the fall, I mean, even though I have my capable buddy with me, I'm going to bring my backup plan. I want to be able to reach out and talk to somebody. These little FRS radios aren't going to have the range that is needed to hit the repeaters. And I was thinking about bringing my big radio and hitting repeaters, but maybe even using Simplex, I don't know. But I think probably it's going to be our best bet to just go ahead and rely on this in emergencies. All right, so then speaking of emergencies, if the bug pressure is really bad while we're fishing, I'm going to keep this as my ditty sack. All the little stuff is going to go in here, flashlights, etc. So it's all in one place, and I'll dump it out and I'll use this to protect my face from mosquitoes and things, gnats probably. Okay, so then toilet paper. I mean, what's the most important thing you carry in the woods, right? There it is. This is my original kit from 2 years ago. I added some things to it. This is extra water. This is extra water stuff. This is a med kit that's been built up. I normally don't carry a med kit, but this is getting into the fall and it's getting into like flu season, and just in case one of us is sick or something like that, it's going to be dry out. I'm going to need some Carmex, so I'm just going to bring some of this stuff, allergy medicine, stuff like that. I do have an existing knee injury that gets pretty aggravated if we go hiking, and it's nice to have those blue pills. Those are naproxen sodium. They're pretty awesome. I like them a lot. And here I've got a spare Ziploc, that I'm going to put my phone in when I'm not using it, or if it rains, just so that everything's protected. And then we go here to my waterproof, awesome Ultralight flashlight. I'm charging this thing up before we leave, just so that it is ready to go, and I know I won't need to charge it in the meantime. I've got a spare battery here, and then I've got in my car kit, which is like, I gotta figure out, I think this is all gonna stay in the car. If I have any failures, I have a little light in my EDC that will work for like 10 hours to get me, or 8 hours, let's say, to get me back to my car. But barring that, I do have my cell phone, and so I have multiple light sources. I'm not too worried about that. Usually I don't, like at night, I would rather post up camp and just hang out until first light. If I had to get out, then I have those multiple light sources to get me out. Also, this is a big, heavy, like it sucks to have to carry it, but I'm going to be filming for you guys and doing time lapses and things, and I really need the battery. This could charge my phone for probably 2 weeks. Like with normal usage, it's like 28,000 milliamp hours or something like that. I've got a backup battery for my flashlight. I've got these little LED things that go in here and turn this into a flashlight. So this can be used like a camp lantern. It's awesome. It's a really big battery. So that's coming for filming purposes mostly. And then really last but not least is the fishing kit. This is my seat pad, so I included it with the fishing kit because I'm going to be sitting down and fishing, is hopefully I find a good rock or something like that. But here is my slab shaker. It's a 10 foot, I mean, you can see that's not 10 feet, right? So this is going to ride hopefully in my backpack without hitting anything. If I need to, I can carry it. It's about the same length, like 4.5 something, 5 feet, as my Ultralight casting rod. But I'm thinking more like cane pole fishing, tenkara. I don't want to deal with the rod and reel. I don't want to deal with all this stuff. I've got a piece of braid on here. That's about half the 10 foot length. It's like 5 feet. And then I have like a 5 foot leader. And I'm going to bring one bobber. If I lose it, then I'll just use a stick. And I'm going to bring some backup monofilament 6-pound test. It's like teeny little thing. And then I've got a kit here of flies. You never know what they are going to go after. So, and we're going out in the mountains, like we're going for trout. So we're going to get our licenses online or at the gas station and just fish with these. And there's plenty of options in here as far as different colors and things. So we're going to be able to carry this, and both of us are going to have plenty of access to plenty of different flies. I think these are going to be great. Again, he's a fly fisherman. He's probably got more kit than I do, but I think I'm going to be pretty happy with just this. I don't want to deal with the casting reel. It does mean that I have to stay closer to shore and stuff, but like, I'm good with that. I'm also thinking, as far as fishing gear, of bringing my Huaracha sandals. I can get in and around the water if it's not too cold and be perfectly fine, you know, barefoot sandals. I'm thinking about that. I don't really like carrying camp shoes, but I will at least bring them and leave them in the car. And if I need to, with those features on that pack, I can strap them on there. So that's everything, guys. Everything is gonna go in this pack. I'm gonna show you a time lapse of packing it up. The stuff like this is gonna be either on my belt or it's gonna be external on the pack. This is definitely gonna be on my belt, carried with the belt loop there, that pleather belt loop. That's gonna be kept accessible because it is getting cold. I'm gonna be wearing all that stuff, and all this is going in my pack. So I've got one more water bottle. That's not a water bottle, it's a pouch, but I've got a water bottle in the bedroom or in the car. I'm gonna bring that with me. I'm gonna make sure I go get that right now. So I didn't include me getting dressed in the time lapse. I mean, come on guys, we gotta keep this PG channel.
So here, like I've said in previous videos, the main important consideration with packing a frameless pack is going to be put the bulky, pokey items like your food bag further towards the front of the pack and put your soft stuff up against your back so that you aren't made uncomfortable while you're hiking.
Oh guys, there she is. The whole kit is assembled. I'm gonna add some food to it. My baseline is that I say, like, I'm not going to cook. It is chilly outside. I'm definitely gonna be glad to have this, and the orange is gonna be really good since it's fall and there's gonna be people out shooting guns and things. So I'm gonna get the scale out and see if we can weigh this with the fishing gear, with everything, and we're not gonna weigh the shoes. I think these are gonna stay in the car. Okay, so keep in mind, I put absolutely everything I'm bringing with me out in the woods in the pack. Like both handheld radios, things that, you know, we're probably not going to be in there, but just like to get the full weight of everything that I'm bringing with me. This scale maxes out at 11 pounds. I'm hoping it's nowhere near that, but let's see. All right, so the fishing pole, the tackle box, the bobber, I mean, like all the fishing stuff, the extra line, the water bottle, we'll take that out, huh? Can we agree to take that out? All right, so here's the pack. Everything else is going to be on there, but I think it's fair to say that we shouldn't put the water in there. Turn this on. All right, is it on pounds and ounces? Yes. All right, hopefully this will balance. So it looks like it's 10 pounds, 12.7 ounces. It's pretty close to the limit of the scale. So there might be some variances there. Find me an overnight backpacking kit with a fishing rod and two-way radios and stuff that weighs less than that. So all right guys, let's get out of here. I'm gonna have some last bites of mashed potatoes, and then we've got a long drive ahead of us. All right, we're in the car. I don't know exactly what's happening yet. It's like 4 hours of driving for me to go up there and pick him up and then go to the place, and then 4 hours of driving home to go take him home and then drive back. So I think I'm gonna tell him that he should meet me at the wilderness area. We found a place that we're gonna go. It's gonna be southwest of Fontana Dam, and it's called like Calico Creek Wilderness or Calicut Creek Wilderness. I'm not gonna make the mistake that I did in the 100 subscribers video. I brought my spot for sure. I can check in where we're camping. She knows I'm gonna be gone tonight for sure, and probably tomorrow night. So let's get out of here, guys.